I am so here for Star, and man, these first two episodes of the season premiere, I was so here for it. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to KRS TV. This is your boy Kenny, and this is Star Season 3, Episode 10. And the name of this episode is When Stars Fall, and Episode 11. And the name of this episode is Watch the Throne. Both of these episodes were good, and I'm so happy that Star is back. And Star did not disappoint with these first two episodes. With the mid-season premiere. So let me begin. Like the first episode on episode 10, they kicked it off, where they did the song "Dance with Me" by Mary J. Blige, and they were doing it. They even had Patti LaBelle on it, and I was so here for that. Then we had afterwards we actually see that Cotton wakes up from a nightmare, because because little Jaden was actually taken by Xander because Cassie actually had that hard drive. So they meet up and they make an exchange. They give him the hard drive back, and he was like, "How I know I didn't make any? How do I know you ain't make no copies of it?" And she's like, "Because it's encrypted, so I can't make copies." So they get the boy back, and his little lackey that was like laughing whatever. Cassie shot his ass in the foot like, "Yeah, laugh now, bitch." I was like, I love me some Cassie. So they finally got, little Jaden back, and it was just like, you got something from me, so I took something from you. And it just goes to show you that Xander is an evil bastard. And within these first two episodes, yeah, Xander's a piece of shit. And I would be so happy when they take Xander's out, because Xander got his hands in so many different pots. And we see in the next episode, his hand goes even further than we realized. So then we also see that in episode 9, towards the end of the episode, Noah gets in a car accident on his way to see the baby, and we see that Maurice actually finds him on the side of the road. He calls 911 and he gets him some help. So then we see that Noah's in the hospital. I think he had talked to his father on the phone. The doctor comes in, tell him that you really injured your back really bad, and he want to give him Oxycontin, but he was like he didn't want that because he's not trying to relapse, because he's been drug free, and Oxycontin is considered one of those drugs. It's like a narcotic, and it could easily get you back onto some of those other substances. So therefore, we see that Star and Noah have a moment, because, Star is supposed to be going home tomorrow, and they kind of had a moment because, they're both are now parents, so that was a interesting moment. And we see while they're having this moment, that bitch Charlene, Arlene's twin sister, is listening in the hall because she actually also appeared in episode 9 when she was hearing about Star having a baby, and she's like, well, what do you know? So she decides to show up, and next thing you know, we see Star goes into her room, and she sees, because I think she had went to go see Noah in his room, and they was having that, parental moment between the two of them, because, Davis, we've come to find out, is actually Noah's kid, and it wasn't Jackson's. She goes back to her room. She sees Charlene there overlooking the baby and shit. And Charlene starts talking cash shit. Like, I see you created a family, but you stole my family. And, my nephew and my sister Arlene. She says, I ain't have nothing to do with that. She's like, yeah, but your father did. And remember when your father called you? Oh yeah, that was the cherry on the top of the cake. I took his ass out. And was literally throwing in her face that she killed her father. So Star, being Star, whooped Charlene's ass and did it in the hospital. And because she did that the day before she was about to leave, they lock Star up, and Charlene wants to press full charges and all of that. So I'm like, oh, that bitch Charlene gotta die too, because it's like, bitch, you making Star pay for some shit when really Star was the victim. Your fucking nephew was beating on her, and Arlene was trying to protect her son, and she wanted Brody to get information about Star, but little did he know that he come to find out that Hunter was beating on her, and here it is, she trying to protect her son and trying to shame Star. And once Brody found that out, he literally stabbed up Arlene's ass, and Charlene electrocuted him. And she's still coming for Star and all of them, because she got an axe to grind. So then we see that Alex and Derek are, she's buying a new car, because now she's a big pop star now that she done had that explosive performance at the Rhythm and Bells. Now she's a top draw. And then, Derek's talking about, he wants to get back into community work and all of that, doing what he's doing. So then we also see that Maurice has a meeting with Mateo. He's talking about the festival success, talks about Take Three's album success. Alex's new single, Bang Bang, is on the top 100. And Maurice lets Mateo know that he leaked Gigi's new album, and he's saying that it can kind of curb a position at the label or whatever. And what he's trying to do is that he's trying to get a spot on the label himself or whatever. And Mateo actually stood up for Carlotta, because it was Carlotta's idea that made Gravity Records a success. Because remember, he didn't even want a music label. He wanted to do just, media, and he just wanted to do media and entertainment. He didn't want to do music. So he pretty much tells Maurice, look, I see what you're trying to do, but this is Carlotta's label, and if you want to get back up into this business, you need to talk to her. And I was like, that's what's up. He's like, you want a job, talk to her. You trying to come through me, trying to go over Carlotta's head, that ain't going down no more. So I thought that was cool. So then we see a scene with Cassie and Carlotta. They talk about, little Jaden is still shooken up after everything that happened. But then, she tells Cassie, you need to take back your power and all that. And then the next thing we see that Miss Jolene, who's Cassie and Carlotta's mother, played by Miss Patti LaBelle, and their damn father, who's actually played by the great Ben Farine, they come in there. She's saying he wants to see his great grandson and all of that. And the dad was getting kind of aggressive at Carlotta, and I was like, oh, that old timers do be clicking on and off, but we see that the father was an evil bastard, because he was just blowing off Carlotta. She mean nothing. She's like, excuse me, you in my house, and you not gonna regulate nothing up in here. And besides, since you feeling yourself, won't you tell what you did? Talk about how you raped me and all that. And the mother immediately came to the fence. Girl, you talking mess. He ain't did nothing to you. He ain't never did nothing to touch you and all that. And then we see that Cotton and little Jaden come downstairs because they're arguing, but then they end up going back upstairs, and she's like, get him the hell out of my house. And she's like, come on, honey, I'll come take care of you. And she walks out with him. And then later on, we see that Cassie has a conversation with Cotton in regards to it, and she's saying that, why would mom lie about something like that, and why doesn't grandma believe her? And she said that, look, grandma worshipped the ground that man walked on. And she said that one time he was going to take Carlotta to Jacksonville. I wanted to go with them, and I tried to get in the car. Mama dragged me in the house and beat me till I almost bled. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this shit really connects somehow. And later on, when she talks to Carlotta later on, Carlotta reveals more about that situation. And we come to find out Carlotta got pregnant by her daddy when she was 14 and lost the baby after the baby was born. And they went to Jacksonville so she can have the baby and the neighborhood wouldn't talk about them. So pretty much the mother knew and she took it out on Cassie. So it's the mother and the father is the reason why Cassie hated Carlotta so much. When really Carlotta was a victim trying to protect her little sister, but because she was being treated so badly by the mom and the fact that the dad wouldn't give her the time of day, that built the resentment to them. But now we see that the two of them are getting closer together because now Cassie knows the truth. And there was even a scene where she even approached the father and put a gun to him and pretty much was threatening to blow his damn head off and shit. He's like, come sit here, baby. It's been so long. I'm like, his mind just goes in and out. So moments when he's sane, he's evil as hell. But then all of a sudden when he gets into his little mode or whatever, he's like, oh, where's this person? Where's this person? Like, Dad, that person been dead for years. They died. I'm like, yeah, that shit's gonna be crazy. So I'm waiting to see how that situation's gonna unfold. But yeah, when she dropped that bomb, I was like, wow. So therefore, this also gets back to Alex, that Gigi's album got dropped. So now Gigi's getting all of this, attention and notoriety, and she's kind of coming for Alex's spot. But then they're saying that, look, we need to take back the narrative. We have to make it about Take 3, and then you got the ASAs coming out, and we really want to make sure we want to see to it that Take 3 gets great representation. Gets great representation for the ASAs, and they also wanted to be on the Billboard cover. So then we also see throughout this episode that Simone has a lot of situations with fucking Mateo, because all of a sudden Angel's missing and she don't know where the hell he at. But Mateo's kind of letting her know that, look, I moved him for his safety because they spotted his ass at the event and they were going to be after him again. So I moved him, and you can't know where he is right now. So you just got to trust me that I know what I'm doing, because I've been down this road before. Because he's a Cuban immigrant. So he knows exactly what Angel's dealing with. But he says, you got to trust me. But I'm like, can you trust him? No, because we later on find out that Mateo got his hands in a whole bunch of shady shit. And I'm going to get to it. So we see that go down. So then we also see that Maurice has a he visits Noah in the hospital. He talks about him trying to become the head of A&R, and that you're like my number one artist. We need to get you back out there. You got the album and the ASAs coming up. We need to get you back. But then he asked him, did he tell Megan about his situation? And he's saying that, look, she doesn't know yet, and right now I'll deal with that when it's time to deal with that. But I'm good to perform, knowing damn well he not, because he's in a lot of pain. And he does a great performance, but then you see after the performance, he's literally in a lot of pain. And he's kind of, dealing with it because he's just taking over-the-counter prescription drugs for this injury. He's not taking the hardcore stuff because he's not trying to relapse. So then we actually see that, that Simone has been visiting Star, keeping up with her. So we see that, yeah, they're keeping in touch with Star and all that, while she's in jail. Let's see. And then we also see that at first, when it came down to baby Davis, because that's the name of the baby, they were holding the baby and Noah couldn't have access to him because they wanted to make sure, they wanted to check his toxicology report to make sure that he wasn't no longer on drugs. And they ran him and he was clean. But Noah was kind of standing up and everything and saying that, look, you know, I'm gonna prove that I'm a father and I can take care of a child, and y'all not gonna shut this out. When this baby clear, he coming to stay with me. Y'all can always come to visit, but y'all not taking my son from me. So I'm like, there's like this inner fight with him because he wants to be a better father to his child than his father was to him, because Bobby was fucked up at how he did him, you know. And we see that they're, you know, towards the end of the season, he done made Bobby his manager, and they're trying to work on their relationship as father and son. And now Bobby's a grandpa. And of course, Miss Bruce checked in on him to make sure he was good too. And then we also saw Jackson. Jackson was outside when that bitch Charlene was on talking to the press. He was out there, and Simone went to go talk to him because, you know, the both of them are doing a movie together. And she was trying to let it be known that, look, Star really needs you. Don't take all of this anger out on Star. She really didn't know. And he was like, yeah, I know that, but right now, I just don't want to deal with this right now and everything. And then we see later on he has a situation with Noah, and him and Noah get into it, and Noah sets himself straight. He's like, bruh, I understand you got issues with Star, but that's my son. That's my kid. And I'm going to be a father to my son. So you ain't got to worry about that. So all this little hostility you got, you don't need to bring it here. Because I didn't even know. I found out I was the dad the same moment you found out you weren't the father. So we're going to see how this is going to work out. But I'm thinking in time Jackson's going to come around. But right now, Jackson feels jaded and he's still upset. And we can see the fact that he was even out there during the press conference. There's still a part of Jackson that still cares for Star. But eventually he will come around. And then we actually go to the Billboard party. And we actually meet, you know, the woman who's the head of Billboard magazine. Her name is Houston. And she's played by none other than Sherry Heatley. The same Sherry Heatley who played Jessica Salison, who got shot up in Catherine's house on the Haves and the Have-Nots. Now she's the head of Billboard magazine. And pretty much she's saying that Take 3 is a no-go. We want to do a feature on Alex because Alex right now has a clean image and she's a rising star. And we want to make our focus on her, and we want her on the thing or whatever. And then she was kind of like talking about Star, you know, having Noah's baby, and was talking about all the stuff that was in the blogs. And then like it got to the point where Simone was getting mad because she was kind of saying that Take 3 is nothing but trash, and we don't they represent nothing good, but we can do something with Alex. So Simone pretty much threatens old girl and was like, look, this is what you gonna do. You gonna keep my damn sister's name out your mouth, and you gonna stop talking about my husband, or you gonna find a fist in your mouth. Have a lovely evening. I was like, Simone ain't, that's why I love Simone, because Simone ain't here for the bullshit. She's so not here for it, and she has no problem telling somebody off. So she kind of let it be known, but then she later on tells them that we're not doing nothing on Take 3. We're going to do it on Alex, and Alex is going to get the cover of Billboard magazine. And I think it will be a good launch for the ASAs. And then we'll also see that, you know, Noah and Derek have a man-to-man moment, you know. So that was pretty cool. And then, oh yeah, I already talked about that. So yeah, so then like, it actually ends with Alice and Simone. Simone apologizes to Alex or whatever, but pretty much Alice was like, look, I'm always gonna keep Take 3 in the process. So I'm not giving. I'm gonna take this opportunity, but I'm not gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget Take Three. So we're gonna keep Take Three alive. uh, so then we also get a scene between Cassie and Derek. Cassie finally finds out that it was Derek was the reason why the FBI was raiding the place, and then he was saying that no, I was actually, and he also says that the FBI actually cut him a settlement, and he wants to invest in Karma because Xander pulled all of his money out of Karma now. So now Cassie has the club, but she doesn't have any backing, but now she does because Derek had promised to invest money in her. And then he even tells her that one of the bankhead dudes raped my grandmother. So I was going undercover to find out who attacked her. And she was shocked to find that out because, she didn't know about that shit. But she decides to go in business with him. And then it ends with Star singing I'm Going Down, song by Rose Royce, but also a song that was a big hit for Mary J. Blige as well. So it was like a Mary J. Blige theme throughout this whole episode, and it was really good. So that's what happened in episode 10. Now episode 11, we see that Star appears in court, and they pretty much tell her that it'll be 4 months until she gets a trial, and there's no bail, so she has to sit in jail for 4 months until her trial. So that's going to be interesting on how that's going to play out. Then we see that Noah's up in Karma, and he talks to Maurice about finishing his album, all that, and then they had to bring this ignorant motherfucker back, that motherfucker Little Deanie. Because, Little Deanie is just talking cash shit, coming for Noah like, I see you playing daddy and all that, and they go back and forth, and he try to tell them like, yeah, want somebody to give me some powder so I can slap this bitch. And like Little Deanie, all he does is talk shit. And the girls definitely roasted him when they was talking about his real tea, that he really comes from a well-to-do family, that hood shit ain't really him. And pretty much they was about to get into it, and then damn Maurice broke it up and said that, look, I'm now the head of A&R now that Carlotta is away, and y'all not gonna fuck up my name, and you're not gonna fuck up what we trying to do. So y'all need to make this work and do what you gotta do. And then we see that Alice is doing the photo shoot for Billboard. She got that blonde hair, and she is working that shit. And then we see Simone and Derek is there, and they planned on meeting with the city council because they're trying to make Atlanta a sanctuary city where immigrants can come there and not no longer have the fear of ISIS coming to take them, because it is a sanctuary city. They actually will have rights to protect immigrants, where they can't just be ripped away from their families and friends. And whilst they're at this thing, they're talking about the city council meeting, and she gets a delivery, Alex, and it's a mic to this Sapphire event, which is kind of like this, pretty much this like exclusive club within the music industry. And they was kind of talking about the Illuminati and some of these secret societies. Well, it's one of those secret societies, and you have to be chosen to actually attend. And she was given the mic, so they want her to perform there, which is big, and that can also make her a shoo-in for the ASAs. Then we get the scene back at Karma. Little Deanie, in his messy ass, notices that Noah is kind of sleeping in the corner, and I'm like, this brother's tired because he's now caring for a new month, for pretty much taking care of a newborn baby by himself almost. He's now being a full-time father, and he's hustling, and Little Deanie thinks this is something to make fun of, so he takes a picture of him talking about, about Noah's, sleeping on his career and all this shit. So then you know, pretty much we see that Miss Bruce and Alex have a moment. You know, she pretty much saying that here it is, you did solo star, but you can't let the group go. And we actually see that damn Gigi storms, you know, the area or whatever with this fire truck. They hear this big boom outside. They go out there. Gigi does her track. Got their little firefighters, you know, definitely all chiseled up. And she's like, you know, serving, you know, ratchet sexy with her little track. And she's dancing on the dudes and all that shit. I'm saying Keke Palmer is doing big things with this role, though. So now she's coming for Alex or whatever because, first of all, you know, there's been some history. Because at first the two of them were friends, but now they're enemies now, especially after, you know, Gigi stole Alice's track or whatever. She ain't really been fucking with Gigi, but now, since Maurice done leased her music, she's now getting a lot of airplay. And she's pretty much one of the top artists on the label. So she comes out talking stuff like, you know what, I was all good until you dissed me. When you were, you know, talking about, oh, I am the premier vocalist on the label, and, you know, I'm the new, I'm the artist that's going to take Gravity to the next level. I was going to take Gravity to the next level. That was shade, bitch. You were throwing shade at me, but I'm here to let you know that the queen is back, so bow down, bitch. And she just kept trying her throughout the whole episode. And at first, it was really starting to get to Alex, but then Alex was like, my biggest competition is... And when they went to go see Star is still being that glue that they need, even though Star is locked up. Because what ends up happening is that Simone goes before the city council, and they were shutting Simone down like, oh, so you just doing this because of your new movie, or because you're about to perform at this club, so what are you really here for? What is it about? And she talks about the fact that my husband is an immigrant, and he was taken away from the only country that he knows. Like, what do you, like, and the councilman was just real nasty. Like, he was just really weren't trying to hear her or whatever. But they decided that they, you know, because now Derek is working along with Simone and Mateo in regards to this immigration issue or whatever. And they said that they're going to bring in this woman, Lucille, who coincidentally actually knows Mateo, and they got a sorted history. But she decides that, yeah, she's going to work with them, and, you know, she's going to be about the cause and everything. So we see that she's dealing with that. Then she's dealing with issues. Then we see that Alice is dealing with issues with Gigi, because Gigi keep coming for her. You know, I think what ends up happening was that Gigi goes to Maurice and tells Maurice, because she knows about Alice being offered to perform at the Sapphire event. She's like, well, I want you to make that happen, where you make that as a duet between me and her. Why the hell does she get to go there and not me? I built myself from the ground up. She's a little rich girl who is building her career off of her family name and shit. But bitch don't know that Alex earned everything that she got, and she built it off of her name, not off of her family's name, because her father never supported her nor believed in her, and she went against the grain and did what she had to do without her parents' support financially at all. So here it is, this bitch is operating off assumptions, thinking that, oh, Alice is this little rich kid who got her way up the game, but I earned my spot. But boo-boo, she didn't realize the type of person that Alex was, because Alex showed her ass in this episode. But yeah, so we definitely had that going on, and then they went to go see Star. Star lets Alex know, like, bitch, the biggest competition is yourself. Don't even worry about her ass. She gonna keep doing what she gonna do, but you keep doing what you gotta do, and everything gonna be alright. And then she tells Simone, yeah, you may not know what it's like to be an immigrant, but you actually experienced the same pains that immigrants have felt, like you being ripped away from your family. You were going through foster care, being abused and all that shit. You know, you're dealing with exactly the same issues that immigrants deal with. So you are the right person to speak for this. So go out there and do what you got to do. So we see that I'm gonna talk about Simone first. Simone actually does her performance at Karma, kills it, has a beautiful performance. You know, talking about immigration, and even got the councilman clapping and everything. So he agrees that yeah, he's gonna make a move. And then we see that Lucille and Mateo are kind of flirting back and forth because I think his wife left him. So Mateo is now just grabbing. And then we come to find out that him and Lucille was the one that he really wanted to marry. That was his true love, but Mateo changed up on our ass. And we definitely see all of that go on, you know, because Simone just disappeared. We don't know where the fuck Simone went. But I think Simone left because she really is in love with... Nina, I'm sorry. Well, Nina is in love. I meant to say Nina, not Simone. But yeah, one is named Nina, other named Simone. Coincidence? I think not. But anyway, Nina just disappeared. And I think it's because she confessed her love to Simone. She just kind of left because she ain't love Mateo's ass. But Mateo obviously didn't love her because he was really in love with Lucille. And Lucille just doesn't like his dirty operation and how he moves. Because we also see that Mateo is very close to his uncle, who runs this food truck. And we see that Lucille came there to meet with them. So Lucille knew about the uncle and all that shit. So him and Lucille go way back. And also, what also happened as far as Alex, at the Sapphire event, they were supposed to be doing a duet. And we actually see that also in this episode that damn Gigi got a sorted pass, and she literally comes from the bottom because her two aunties are some weave-wearing ghetto-fied hussies. Let me tell you, they are ratchet as I don't know what. Like, they was kind of going, like, Gigi and Alex were going back and forth, and the auntie's like, oh yeah, we can get with it. And then Mr. was like, if you don't sit down with that fucked up wig you got on, bitch, like, you will get fucked up in here. Don't play that bullshit. And we see that her damn aunties is the reason why she's so ratchet, because her aunties are ghetto like shit. And we also see in this episode too that Cassie goes to Maurice with a baseball bat, threatening to box, pretty much, threatening to play baseball with his ass, because she's mad that here it is, you up in my sister's office, and then here it was, I was trying to buy out our partnership, but now I see you up in here with Xander's guards and all this shit. Like, what the fuck is you on, bruh? You're not gonna come up in here and taint my sister's shit. But then he calls security and gets her, he gets security to get her thrown out, because he knew that Cassie was gonna beat that ass. He knew it. And then later on, he comes back to the office, and the whole office has been vandalized. Like, everything's been vandalized. At first, he think it was Cassie, but Cassie had to set his ass straight, like, bruh, what makes you think I will actually fuck up my sister's office like that? Yeah, I came in there with a bat, but I came in at a bat to fuck you up, not to fuck up her office. Like, that wasn't my intention. And besides, the reason why I was so ambushed because I saw Xander's guards up in the damn label. Like, what the fuck is going on with that? And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, oh, so you ain't playing dumb. You really are dumb with this. You really don't know. And we come to find out that Xander is in cahoots with fucking Mateo. And really, the situation is, Xander was the one who bailed Mateo out when Mateo lost everything through his gambling addiction. It was him that helped him get back. And now, Xander is coming to Mateo to take up the job that he once had Cassie doing, which is cleaning up the dirty money. And he pretty much threatened that he would kill his uncle and all this shit. So I'm like, Xander has got to fucking die. Xander's got to fucking go, because Xander got his hand in everything across the board. Like, now he now, like, Gravity Records is now in jeopardy because Xander's involved. And Xander is an evil bastard, and Xander is all about Xander. So he pretty much says that, look, once you took money from me, you no longer have power to control negotiations. So this is what you gonna do. You gonna clean my money for me, or I can take this nice pistol and go pay a visit to your uncle in his food truck. So I'm like, oh nigga, you is really, really inking, because now that him and Cassie done severed ties, he ain't got nobody to do his dirty work. So now he gonna use Mateo to do it. And we see after that councilman event, once the councilman said that he'll see what he can do as far as making Atlanta a sanctuary city where immigrants can come and not be harassed. He kind of slipped him, this money about Xander, saying that this is about Xander associates. They're willing to help you with property and all this shit. And Lucille picked that out. She's like, you ain't changed a damn bit. You still the same snaky motherfucker you've always been. But no, boo-boo, you don't understand. That motherfucker's livelihood is being threatened, as well as his family. So he's doing all he can to survive. But I'm like, yeah, Xander's ass gotta go. Because now Xander's still out there. Xander gonna keep doing shit. And now, Cassie done pulled, Maurice's ear to the shit. But now I'm gonna go back to this whole situation with Alex at the Sapphire event. We see that Gigi's in her dressing room getting ready and shit, and also Alex brought Noah as like her +1 because Derek wasn't going to be able to go there with her, so she took Noah with her, and Noah wants to get some more exposure, so him being there, would definitely help him in the long run. So, and then while he's there, little Zini still coming over there talking shit. They even had a situation at the studio where he's saying that, dude, you just mad because you washed up and your time is up. My album about to come out. It's all about me. And you just mad because it ain't about you no more. You need to go home and change your clothes and feed your baby. And like, he was just talking buku shit. And then he sees the, little Deanie's up in the damn Sapphire event too, still doing all this bullshit or whatever, and pretty much Noah didn't pay his ass no fucking mind. Then all of a sudden we see that this damn thing of champagne comes over, and here it is, little Deanie, because he's such an arrogant piece of shit, thinking it's for him, but it's for Noah. So then he goes over there again, taunting Noah, talking shit, talking about his clothes, and then he's chatting about, oh yeah, and that jerry curl you got in your head. Oh, when he tried to grab his fucking head, Noah knocked him smooth out. Knocked his ass out. And I was like, that's exactly what you get with your dumb ass. You keep talking all this shit, but you forget, Noah came from that hard life where your ass was spoon fed, but you playing like you lived that hood life when you really never did. So he kept talking shit to Noah. Noah just straight knocked him out, and he was knocked out cold. I was like, you go, Noah, you get a +1 from me. That was good. But then Gigi's getting prepared for her duet performance, and she's trying to be on some classy shit or whatever. But they pretty much says that, boo boo, you ain't nothing but a hood chick from the Cali, because her aunts are just as ghetto and ratchet as they want to be. And they said, oh yeah, and respect ain't gonna be given, respect gotta be taken. Yeah, because we done did a little something earlier. And she was like, what the hell did y'all do? She's like, oh, we done got your cousins to go up into the label and shake shit up. Yeah, respect has to be earned. Yes, earned. And she's like, look, I cannot continue to move up with y'all doing all this ratchet shit. Look, I'm trying to go from ashy to classy, and I will meet with Alice Crane along the way. But y'all need to stop this bullshit. So we come to find out they were the ones who fucked up Maurice's Maurice's office. So when it comes down to the damn performance and shit, Gigi's mic ain't even on, and the only mic that's on is Alex. Alex kills it, and she gets a thunderous applause because she worked at that stage and did her thing. So the Sapphire Awards was hers. Then we see her and Gigi they're becoming somewhat frenemies. Like, they cool because they get each other, but then again, Gia is so pressed about being on top that she's willing to do anything, even if it means cut Alex down. She's willing to do anything to be that number one. So they go back and forth or whatever, and she was saying that I earned my spot. You always had your family name, so that's what made you. She's like, first of all, I worked my ass off to get everything I have, and nothing was given to me. I earned everything. And I'm letting you know, you keep on sleeping for me, I got something for that ass. And she's like, bring it on, bitch. So we seeing that, yeah, we're starting to see more and more there's more to Gigi than we realize. That a lot of this ratchetness that she's displaying is really just coming from her past. And I think we're going to find out more about Gigi throughout this season. That Gigi is literally trying to get to that next level, but Gigi has definitely been through a lot, and on top of it, you can tell from her family is on some straight hood shit, and they want to do any and everything. Yeah, and then, so that part was crazy. So then we also see when so then we actually see that when Mateo was kind of like doing some dirty dealings for Xander with the councilman, Lucille peeped that out. She's like, you ain't gonna never change. And he kind of leans in and kisses her and all that, but she kind of like walks off or whatever. But we definitely see that Mateo won't give up on her. And actually, Lucille is actually played by If Loving You Is Wrong's Zulay Haneo, and it was good seeing her in a different role. She was doing her thing in this episode. Yeah, so then we also see towards the end of the episode, we pretty much see that Noah is taking care of the baby, and he's still on these pain, and he's still in a lot of pain, and he actually decides to start taking the oxycodone. So we're gonna see whether this will make him relapse, and he'll start doing all the other drugs as well. And then also we see that Star has a little issue with this woman who's in jail with her, who's trying to come for her, and she pretty much says that, look, I got a son and a family out here for me to focus on, and not your sorry dirty ass, so stay the fuck out my way. And we see that Star's been singing in jail and everything. So we definitely see that, yeah, shit's about to get real, and I'm just waiting to see what's about to happen next. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to talk to you about it. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. I have them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Star. So until next time, everybody, take care.